Seth, really appreciate you taking time out of your morning to join me here for this interview. I know it's 8 a.m. for you, so very, very early on. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I am great. Looking forward to see where this interview goes. So, to begin, I saw some wins from you in the copywriting and freelancing campuses. Could you explain what they were about?
Yeah, okay. So I posted a couple wins. There was my main revenue that I've accumulated over my time in here in the real world, and then just some of my wins. Some of those main wins that I posted, they were so I have two $500 retainers. One, I write emails and create videos like short form videos, like TikTok videos for a client. And then the other win is another $500 retainer with a $25, 25% back end revenue share for whatever we sell. And for him, I write emails, I've done a sales page for him, and then I do videos as well for him. And then I've had other little clients, but none have really sticked. Those are just my two retainers that are bringing me in money right now. So that's going good. And I just posted that to show people on the campus that it's possible. You just have to work the system.
Mhm. So, what is the total you're averaging per month, including the revenue share?
So right now I'm getting about 1,500 a month, so 1.5K. And that's pretty good for I have another job and that's just pretty good, like a side hustle right now. I eventually want to turn it into my main source of income. So it's going pretty good.
Mhm. How many hours do you put in per day or per week into this side hustle that you call?
So, a lot of people like my parents and other people ask me like the same question, and it's a lot more than so it's two things. It's like I have the certain amount of time I actually put into my clients. That's like my actual job. And the other part is practicing, reaching out and getting better at the craft. So actually talking to like actually doing work for clients, I probably work maybe 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. And then sometimes I'll work on the weekends because I work on the weekends, but usually 2 hours for a client. And then the rest, I probably work another 4 to 5 hours just on everything else, outreach, writing, copy, practicing, all kinds of stuff in improving my craft.
Mhm. Did you have any prior experience with either copywriting or video editing before you joined the real world?
No, but I have a lot of knowledge in psychology. And so copywriting has a lot to do with psychology. So I kind of had a head start there. But other than that, no.
Okay. How different would you say the material has been and the process of learning from that material compared to what you can find out on the internet?
Well, it's like a school, it's almost like a university because like you can go and you can find it on YouTube and it's like, but you have to be on it all the time. You have to be researching everything and you can find similar information, but not in depth like this. Not here, it's laid out for you. They pretty much give you homework, pretty much give you assignments to do, teach you, give you people are holding you accountable. And it's a lot easier and I'm very disciplined, but I wasn't like that at first and it was very good because it held me accountable and got me that way. So for people that need that source of discipline, it's perfect for that.
Mhm. So, how different does your average day look like now compared to before you joined the real world?
So there's a lot of things that have changed in my life since I've joined the real world, probably 6, 7 months ago. And before that, I was going to college. I was kind of working out but I would wake up, I would kind of do whatever for the day, go to college for half the day, then go to work and then just kind of play video games and do whatever. Now I wake up pretty early in the morning, more than most people, and then I go to the gym. I come back, I work on this for a little bit, and then I work my part-time job for half the day. Then I work on copywriting, then I do my other stuff and go to bed. That's kind of what the day usually looks like.
Mhm. So, how many hours are you putting into copywriting and video editing now compared to when you first joined the real world? Has there been any change?
Yeah, now I'm definitely more. Before, when I first joined the real world, I I, I would just kind of do it off and on and whenever, kind of just a little thing. I guess it was kind of cool, I guess. And then I was probably putting maybe 2 hours a day at most. Now I now in copywriting and learning skills and all this stuff, I probably put 7 to 8 hours a day usually into it, and so it's almost like a full-time job.
And when did that mindset shift happen where you decided to dedicate so much more time into it, and why?
It was like when I was just tired of being normal. I just didn't want to be normal. Like, I was just this normal guy that no one paid attention to. Girls don't look at you. Uh, you have no status, nothing. It's just kind of, you're like kind of tired of it. You see all these people at the top, and it's like, I want to be like them. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the work, get rich, learn the knowledge, and surpass all my competition.
And does it feel like, due to the real world, you are on that trajectory?
Due to it, well, it's like it's a weird conundrum, and I've talked about this with other people, and it's like in the real world, you have a lot of like-minded people, and you almost get caught up like you're not different. But then when you go out in the real world and you look at, I'm 19, so when I look at other 19-year-olds, they're all playing video games, they're all partying, chasing girls and stuff like that, and it's like I've already surpassed them up to 10x. You know what I mean? And it's like when you look at the general population, I'm miles, and so yeah, miles in front of them, and it's great to have a community of like-minded people that we're gonna conquer the world one day.
Right. I love that. Is there any more you have to say about what kind of an impact the community has had on you?
Yeah, I mean, just like in the copy in the copywriting campus, we have a review channel, and like we'll send in our copy and stuff like that to get it reviewed. And it's like there's a lot of people that they give you good feedback, and I try to give good feedback, and it's cool because we all help each other improve on our skills, and in that we can get clients and we support each other, and yeah, it's a good community.
Right. And did the Wins channel have any kind of effect on you?
Yeah, when I first started, it had a big impact because I was seeing all these people. Like I remember seeing one like 2K, like someone got a 2K payment. I was like, how is he getting that kind of money? Like, and he's like getting that every single, like all the time. And it's like I'm here working my part-time job at a retail store making 300 bucks a month, and I'm like literally I'm getting nothing, and this guy's just working online getting all this money. And so yeah, it drove me to like, if he can do it, I can do it. I just got to find a way to do it.
Mhm.
And so yeah.
So I'd like to hear the story for a bit more in depth on how did it feel and what was the process for you to get your first retainer?
Okay, yeah. So like I said, I didn't make any money in the real world for 4 to 5 months. And then I got a small client. He wasn't paying me very much. I wasn't doing very much. I was working like 30 minutes a week for him, and he would pay me a little bit of money. And then finally, like I just kept on outreaching. I improved my outreach, was getting a lot of replies, sending stuff. And I finally got a retainer, and it was just like, it was kind of like an awe moment almost because you finally realize that it's like like you see all these people doing it, you see all these people succeeding, but you've never done it yourself. And then eventually the hard work, it catches up and it pays off. And it was just one of those awe moments. Like I just sat down. It's like I don't. If I keep doing this and make enough money, I can just travel the world and work on my laptop and stay in nice, do whatever I want. Like I can be off the grid and just work on my laptop for the rest of my life. And it's like I don't know if I want to do that, but I could. And it's cool to think about that that's possible. And it was just kind of an awe moment. It was really cool.
Right. Yeah, very nice. What would you say for the biggest challenge you faced then when you first started out? Would it be client outreach or something else?
I would say, yeah, it is kind of that's the biggest one because cold emails are like a thing of its own. You know what I mean? It's its own monster. And that was one of the things like I was sending out, like, I don't think I got a reply for probably 600 emails. Like I sent out probably 600 emails, and like they were getting, some of them were getting views, some of them weren't opens. And then I just wasn't getting replies. And then I just sat down and stopped practicing everything else and just committed my mind to finding a way to improve my outreach. And I did that for weeks. And then I got to the point where I was sending out a 10 email campaign. So to 10 different people, it would get 100% open rate, 5 replies. And it just kind of blew up from there.
Right. Yeah, because I was going to ask 600, that's a lot of emails. Usually people land clients like a lot sooner. So I was wondering how you overcame that. So it's just about investing brain calories, right, into actually figuring out the process and how to improve it.
Yeah, I've come to realize because I'm big on like the mind thing and like conquering it and finding ways because it's very powerful. And it's like when you realize that it's like if you obsess about something and that's all you think about and you just research it and try to find ways and you practice, your mind will eventually find something. Maybe it's a new idea, maybe it's something someone else has used, but it'll eventually find a solution that works. And so that's just what that's what, when I come across a problem, that's what I do because it's worked for me in the past. Like if I have a problem with trying to solve a certain how to sell this product, I just focus on it, focus on it. That's all I think 24/7. When I'm doing a different job, when I'm in the gym, that's all I think about. And eventually the solution comes. And then to do the how did I overcome like sending that many emails and not getting is just I think it was just the thing. It's like, what else am I going to do? Am I going to be poor, never succeed in my life? Or do I just eventually one day it'll probably work out if I just stick to it forever? And that's what I did. And eventually it worked out.
Right. So you have the perseverance there. Because for a lot of people, they might be putting in the work, but they don't have a direction. So it doesn't amount to much. But I guess you'd attest to it that in the real world, you get the direction. So as long as you're putting in the work, you know that you will get results eventually.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like with, I think the greatest analogy is working out. Like everyone knows if you want a good body, go to the gym and do some push-ups and do some pull-ups and lift heavy weights. It's like it's not complicated, but it's hard. You know what I mean? The effort's hard, but it's not complicated. So if you know what you really want, just go out and do the thing that's going to get you at, and eventually it'll pay off.
Now, what would you say for what have been the three biggest lessons you've learned from your time in the real world?
Everything hard work does pay off. Hard work does pay off, and that's number one. Like there's, I think Tate says it a lot. Is everything has a it's Newton's third law. Everything has a reaction, opposite reaction that's equivalent to it. So, if you put in the work, it'll eventually, maybe it not eventually, not immediately, it's not going to pay off, but eventually down the road, the hard work will pay off. It's number one. Number two is perseverance is key. Consistency compounds and increases your likelihood of whatever you're trying to get. Like in the gym, if you go to the gym once and work out for 10 hours, you're not going to see any improvements. But if you go to the gym for an hour for 5 years or 2 years or even just a year, you will see massive improvements. And then I don't know if this is necessarily a lesson, but it's just kind of a realization. And it's three, it's that the world is lying to you. There's so many, it's just, it's you, they say you can't get rich. I've been taught, like my family is, successful to a certain extent, not rich, but, and it's like, it was almost like these people, it's not possible to get like that rich. And it's like, it is possible to get that rich. And the matrix is brainwash society to keep you poor. And so they can have all the money for themselves. And so that's what I've kind of realized is that it's hard. Like the effort's hard. Yeah, it's going to be hard to get rich, but it's not that complicated. You just have to learn the knowledge and work at it every day. And yeah, you're working the same as a 9 to 5, maybe a little bit more, but in the long run, it's like you're going to make a lot more than they do and you're going to be free. So that's what I've learned.
So where do you see your life heading now that you're on this trajectory in, let's say, 6 months to 1 year?
I have goals, by the end of the year, I want to be making 10K a month off of this. So that is a goal. It's hard. I try because I do think about it. I kind of like stress about the future. Like, is this like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? But I know the trajectory I'm on is for success, right? So it's like I said, the compound effect of consistency. It's like eventually I know I'll achieve whatever I'm trying to achieve just because I won't quit. I'd rather die than quit because it's just what else is there to do? And so eventually I know I'll be successful. I have goals that I have set in place. And so one day I'll achieve them no matter how long it takes.
That's a great mindset, especially at 19. So I love listening to you. Now, what would you say what kind of an impact has Tate had on you?
Okay. So I've had like different, like, at one point I thought this about Tate. At one point I thought about Tate. I never disliked Tate. I always liked Tate. But at one point I thought he was like some like kind of like just this, not a god because I believe in God, but just like this figure that could do no wrong. It's like the more I've realized, the more I've improved. It's like Tate does say things that are not that I don't agree with, right? He may think they're perfectly true. May other people may think they're perfectly true. That's fine. I don't agree with everything he says, but I am rational enough to take the things that I do believe in that he says and apply those to my life and leave the ones that I don't agree with. And he has made a big impact just being a man. I mean, the Matrix lies to you. Like be soft, be weak, and they keep you. I mean, just it's. I try to strive to be like men, like him, and other men that I idolize, and to become like him. So yes, he's impacted me a lot, and it gives me a hero to chase in a sense and keep me working.
And I can relate to that as well. So, yeah, great answer. And now, before we end off, what advice would you have to people who are on the fence about joining the real world? Maybe they're not sure if it's a scam or not. Yeah, what would you say to them?
It's I think the price has been upped. I mean, I think it's like I don't know what it's at, but I know at one point it was 150. So it's like, okay, you pay $150 for a month and it doesn't work out. What we're going to spend that other 150 on? Video games, junk food. I mean, maybe it improves your life drastically. Maybe it doesn't, but at least you try and you won't have regrets. And I promise you it will. And one day you'll look back and you'll thank yourself for making the choice to take the risk and take the leap of faith and better your life other than sitting back and being paralyzed by fear because fear destroys all men's dreams if they act on the fear. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so great answers. If for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
I have a website. It's called ashermediacompany.co, ashermedia.co.
Could
That's
you spell that out?
pretty much it. Asher, so ASHER, and then media, MEDIA, and then .co.
Yeah, so I'll add it to the description of the video. And Seth, again, really appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for the great interview. And I wish you all the best and look forward to doing a follow up at some point in future.
All right. Thank you. You too. You have a good day, Rugos.